All right, everyone. If you can remember back, this would be day 2 of our optional theme number 1, which is urban environments, and the topic today was megacities. The objective for the IB curriculum is to explain the global increase in the number and location of megacities, and it gave you kind of what they consider a megacity in that objective. We've got a fairly simple definition of a megacity, a metropolitan area with a total population in excess of 10 million people. It can be a single metropolitan area, or we will see in some cases 2 or more metropolitan areas coming together. There is a term for this. It's called conurbation. The merge of the metropolitan areas along the northeast from Boston all the way down to Washington, D.C. is considered a conurbation. But anyway, some statistics, which I would think is good to kind of have in your mind. I wouldn't spend time trying to memorize these rankings. They would most likely be good points of reference for you, or examples to use in your answers. So, I try to dig up the most recent. So 2013, we have 24 megacities in the world, the largest being these areas right here: Tokyo, Delhi, Mexico City, New York, and Shanghai. Each of these would have populations in excess of 20 million people. And Tokyo has been and is still the largest metropolitan area in the world. I don't think the text has gone over this, but a metropolitan area, the United States has a way of defining metropolitan areas. We have a core county, and in our case, I'll use our local example. Our core county would be Mecklenburg, and then we have the surrounding counties. So we have Cabarrus to the north, we have Cleveland to our west, all the way to Anson on the other side of Union to our east, down into Rock Hill to our south. So this would be considered Charlotte's, what we say is our MSA, our Metropolitan Statistical Area. I said that the United States defines this. They look at the census data for this region, and we can divide this up, all these different counties here, and they would figure out that they have a fairly high percentage of people traveling from these counties into this core county on a daily basis for work and for other commercial reasons. Now, as you move north or south, you might find you would run into counties that would then deal with the metropolitan area of those other great cities, maybe Columbia to our south, or I don't know, Statesville or Raleigh to our north. The text has given us a pretty good description of what a megacity is. Besides having greater than 10 million people, we see very high population concentrations. Okay, we have very high economic activity, social interaction, and innovation. Lots of problems, though, that are also descriptions of the megacity. We have uncontrolled expansion. We've got inadequate resources. We've got a large gap or wealth gap. Poor housing. High ecological strain. And the idea behind this is to give you kind of a visual of what we're dealing with in these new cities of the world. The text goes further to talk about quality of life in a megacity, And if you've not looked at table 11.2 in the text, it goes through quality of life in megacities. It takes a look at factors like, for one, it would be, people per room in a house. In our country, we would have probably a very low number of people per room. Count up the rooms of your house and put that on one side and the amount of people that live there on the other. Infant mortality rates going to be very high in these areas. Noise pollution and probably light pollution. And also the high number of houses or housing without amenities like water or electricity. You may remember on that day, or if you weren't there that day, we had some blank maps, and I used these two rankings that I dug up. I think one was from Wikipedia, the other was from that infograph on that first day's reading. And basically we chose the cities that we want and we labeled them on those blank maps. The idea was to go back to that objective and look at where are these places found on the earth, and we would hope that besides a few, for instance Tokyo, besides a few, Tokyo and New York, LA, that we're finding that a lot of these are going to be found more in LDCs, or what you might see as emergent economies. That's another term that we use. Alright, that is Megacities.